Hello everyone and welcome to another live session at Talent Sprint. Before I start the session, I would like to greet you all by saying a hi. Let's see how many of you are there and greet each other by saying a hi, hello at the chat window. Sandeep, I believe, is already there because he asked about a couple of minutes ago where the video is. Hi Sandeep, so here is the video. Okay, I'm looking to see if some more of you are actually out there watching this video. So as many of you would have already seen that in today's session, we will be discussing some questions in logical reasoning. Anurag looks like has just joined us. Hello, Anurag. Okay. Now, as has been already mentioned, in today's session, we shall be discussing the logical reasoning section. Not only will we be solving some questions that have been asked in the recruitment drive of a lot of IT companies in the last few months, but along with that, while we solve the questions, I will be discussing a couple of shortcuts, some tricks with you that will not only ensure that you reach the correct answer, but reach the correct answer within a few seconds, because time is truly money in such exams. Great. So I think we have another gentleman who's joined us. Hello, Grave Freak, since that is your screen name. Okay, I think we can start our session for the day. So let us start by having a look at the questions that we have put together for today's session. Now, before I would go to that, I would like to remind you once again, boys and girls, that logical reasoning section is actually a mixture of maths and English. Now, why is that? Maths is going to help you to get together the concept which is going to solve the question, but English is the one that is going to ensure that you realize which concept you have to use. Therefore, logical reasoning is one of those sections that is a heady mix of both English and mathematics, where your command over the language English will actually help you break down the question and understand not only what the question says, but also what the question is asking for. So without wasting any more time, let's start. Great. Let's look at our first question for the day, boys and girls. Hi, Javeed. Hi, Ranjit. I can see that you guys have just joined us. Hello, Subindra. Okay, let's read our question. A and B are sisters. P is the son of Q and B is the mother of Q. If C is the son of A, which of the following relations is correct? Now, remember, if you try and solve such questions only by reading, there's going to be a lot of hodgepodge in your mind, and trust me, you will not be able to reach the correct answer. The trick to such questions that are about blood relations, about relationships, is actually to start by plotting out the diagram. So now let us first start by making the diagram where we exactly chart out the relationship that has been shared by the 4 or 5 different people who have been mentioned in this relationship. Let's do that. Okay, so we know there is A and there is B. We know that A and B are sisters, which means that both of them are females since they are sisters. Now we know that Q is, that P is the son of Q, which means that Q can either be the father or the mother of P, and P definitely is a male because he is the son of Q. There is another relationship that has been told to us here, that B is the mother of Q. Another relationship that has been told to us, what? C is the son of A. We know that C is the son of A. So we know again that C is a male and he is the son. Now, once the diagram has been sorted out, charted out in front of us. We have mapped it out. Let us look at what our options are. Before I roll out what the answer is, I would request you to study the diagram that is there and try and come to an answer by yourself. Let's see how many of you there can actually give us the answer to the question. Anyone would actually like to try the answer to the question? Anyone here? We said that A and B are sisters. We know that B is the mother of Q. We also know that P is the son of Q. We know that C is the son of A. Now let us start looking at the options that we have. Option 1 says A is the grandmother of P. Now if we try and establish the relationship, A and P are related, but A is the grandmother of the grand aunt. Therefore, this relationship does not hold true. Let us look at the second relationship. C and Q are cousins. Now, if you notice, the mother of both C and Q are sisters, which means that C and Q are related. They are cousins. Therefore, this is the correct answer. There are two grandsons of P. Again, something if you know, we know that B has one grandson who is P, but there are no two grandsons that have been mentioned here. Therefore, the answer for this is C and Q are cousins. Deepraj, I'm sorry, answer is cannot be determined. Answer here is 2. C and Q are cousins. I would request all of you, I am going to remove the map, the chart, the map that I have plotted out for you. I would request all of you to once again plot the map and see if you have actually understood why this is the answer. Take about 30 seconds and see why. So Vinay, yes, you have reached the correct answer. C and Q are cousins. They are related to each other by the virtue of being cousins. I hope the question is clear to you. Can I move on to the next question, guys? I'm looking for some more people to say a yes, no, not understand. Come on, guys, let's make this session a little more interactive. Let's talk to each other. Let's see what have we understood, what have we not understood. Okay, Anurag says yes, he's understood the question. Javed says that he has understood the question. Okay, I think now since a couple of you actually have got the question, let's move on to the next question for the day. Okay, now the next question, there are two statements given to us, boys and girls, and we have to see which of these conclusions holds, which of these conclusions is actually true, whether both of them are true, whether one of them is true, whether either of them is true, or whether neither of them is true. Now, the statements say that all railways are trains, no train is a station, some stations are platforms. Now, before we actually go on to try and solve this question, let me just tell you one little thing about this exercise of statement and conclusions. Often when you do statements, there may be some statements that do not make sense at all. Commonsensically, when you think of them in terms of common, be absolute stupid. Do not bother about that at all. Just go by exactly what has been said in the statement and consider everything in the statement to be true. Now, let us look at these statements. They tell us that all railways are trains, which means train is the larger set, the universal set for railways. Railways is a part of trains. The second no train is a station, which means that station is a set completely different from trains. There is no relationship between them. Then they tell us that some stations are platforms. Now, here arises a very interesting possibility that platforms may or may not be a part of trains. We do not know the relationship between them. Knowing this, let us look at the conclusions that have been given. All railways being a platform is a possibility. Like we just said, that all railways being a part of the platform is a possibility. So therefore, this does hold. No railway is a station. Of course, we know that no railway is a station. And just like Anurag and Jayendra have correctly got the answer, yes, both conclusion 1 and 2 follow. 3 is the correct answer, and both conclusion 1 and 2 follow. For questions like these, I would repeat, please ensure that you plot out the diagram the minute you start reading the question. Plotting out the diagram for such questions is extremely important. Since most of you have got the answer, I can see, let us move on to the next question. Okay, now next question is again based on Venn diagrams. Here, thankfully, the Venn diagram has been plotted out for us, and we just have to read the Venn diagram, boys and girls. Okay, so they tell us that circle A, which is 1, stands for SMPS. It stands for SMPS. Circle 2, B stands for RAM. Circle C3 stands for hard drive. Circle 4, D stands for USB. Now, let us see what the question is asking us. Peripherals have SMPS but not hard drive. We have to look at the relationship between 1 and 3. Something that has A but does not have C. So here is A, something that has A but does not have C will include this section, this section, this section, and this section. Now, if you clearly try and read the sections of F, J, K, and A have been included. F, J have been included. Therefore, the answer would be 2. The answer, boys and girls, here is 2. I repeat, the answer here is 2. F, J, K, and A are all 3 included. If you try and read, zoom into the diagram and see when they tell us to see what is parts that include SMPS but not hard drive. So yes, the answer that follows is 2, A, K, F, and J. A, K, F, and J. Let me once again point out to you. A, K, F, and J, 2. A, K, F, and J. Great. I hope all of you have understood this question. And let's move on to the next part of the question that is based on the same diagram. Great. Let's move on to the next question. Now, look at this question. They ask us here, it is the same diagram, but the question is different. The question that they ask us here, peripherals that they ask us here, peripherals that have represent a region. Peripherals that have all 4 items represented by a region means the area that represents SMPS, RAM, hard drive, and USB. Meaning, if you notice, that includes the common of all the 4 Venn diagrams. So here it would be actually this area. This area is what includes the common area between all the 4 Venn diagrams, all the 4 circles, all the 4 sets. Therefore, the answer to this is H. H represents the area H represents the area where all the four peripherals have been represented. I can look, Anurag has got the answer. I hope no one has a doubt. This is one of those really simple questions. And let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's look at this question now, boys and girls. Once again, based on the same diagram. Another question based on the same diagram. Yes, H is the correct answer, which is part 4. Option number 4, H is the correct answer. Let's look at the fifth question now, boys and girls. Peripherals that includes SMPS, RAM, hard drive, but not USB. So it has to have A, B, C, but not D. So it has to have A, B, C, but not D. So if we see, there is one small area that represents A, B, C, but not D. If you look carefully, this, boys and girls, is the area that represents A, B, C, and not D. And Anurag has once again got the correct answer. The answer is 1. Option number 1, L. The area represents the place where A, B, and C meet, sans D. Yes, I can see a lot of you are getting the correct answer. One of those really simple questions where you just have to read the data with care and precaution to be able to reach the correct answer. Now, let's move on to our next question. Okay. Now, this is a question, boys and girls, which we say coding, decoding. Let's read and then let's see. In the following question, symbols @ hashtag, dollar, percentage, and are used in different meanings. So every symbol has been given a certain meaning. We have to first find the meanings that have been given to these symbols by about 5 statements. There are 5 statements out there that give us different meanings to these symbols. We have to identify what symbol means what, and then based on that, see which of these statements and conclusion hold true. So let us start to define which statement, which symbol stands for which mathematical operation. So P @ Q means P is neither smaller nor equal to Q. Therefore, it means that the symbol @ means greater than. The symbol @ means greater than because P is neither smaller nor equal to Q. Therefore, P can only be greater than Q. Therefore, @ means greater than. Let's look at the second relationship. P #Q means P is not greater than Q, which means that hashtag stands for less than equal to. Because P can be both less than equal to Q if it is not smaller than Q. Let's move on to the next relationship. P $Q means that P is not smaller than Q. So therefore, it would mean that the dollar symbol means greater than equal to. It means, read the statement once again. P $Q means that P is not smaller. If it is not smaller, it can only be greater than equal to. Moving on to the next bit. P %Q. That means we have to find the code for percentage. P is neither greater nor smaller. We know if something is neither is it nor is it greater, and only be to the sign equal to. Then let's go on to the next symbol that is represented by and. P and Q means P is neither greater nor equal, which means it is actually less than. Now, I would request all of you to read the statements once again and see if we have actually assigned the value of a correct mathematical operation to them. Now, let us now try and decode the statements that have been written. Statement 1 says E %H, which means that E is equal to H. Second statement says E dollar M, which means that H is actually greater than equal to M. And the third says M hashtag Q, which means that M is less than equal to Q. In the next line, if you see, we can actually put all the relationships into one line. Now that we have this relationship that have been given H dollar Q. H dollar Q would mean that H is greater than, H is, boys and girls, greater than equal to Q. Does it hold true? No, it does not hold true. H is not greater than equal to Q. Does not hold true. Then E dollar M. Boys and girls, E dollar M would mean that E is greater than equal to M, which is exactly the relationship that we can see from here. Therefore, the second statement is true. Therefore, the answer for this is 2, because only conclusion 2 is true. I can see a lot of you have already arrived at the answer now. Okay, let's move on, boys and girls, to the second slide. Okay, now if we look at this slide, there is again a set of arguments, a set of statements that we have to analyze. They tell us D and T. D and T, which means that which actually means that D is less than T. So D is actually less than T. R hashtag T, which means that R is less than equal to T. And third, R dollar M. R dollar M would mean that R is greater than 2M. If we try and put them in one line, we will get the relationship D is greater than T, T is greater than equal to R, and R is less than equal to M. This is the relationship, boys and girls, that we can draw here. Now let us see what do the conclusions say. The conclusion says M and T. Means the conclusion says that M is actually less than T. Is M less than T? Is actually M less than T? I'm waiting. M can be less than T. We do not know. So 1 is doubtful. We don't know whether M is less than T or not. There is a possibility. If we look at what the statement number, what conclusion 2 says, M percentage T, meaning M is equal to T. That again is a possibility because we do not know the relationship between M and T, because R actually lies in the middle and there is an equal to sign here in both the cases. So therefore, in this case, we know that at the same time, both of them cannot be true. Therefore, only one of them will be true. Therefore, the answer is 3. The answer here is 3. Either 1 or 2 would be true. Neither, there is the possibility of both of them being correct, but only, I repeat, only one of them can be correct at a given time. Therefore, the answer here is either 1 or 2 is true. I would request you to take 30 seconds, ponder on this question before we move ahead. So we can see here, Vikrant has managed to get the correct answer. Vikrant here has managed to get the correct answer. He says 3. Either one or either conclusion 1 or conclusion 2 would be correct. I'm waiting forward for some more people to be able to actually tell us if they have reached the correct answer. Looking forward to some more of you tell us that, you know, whether you've understood, you've not understood. Kripani, Anurag, both of you had the wrong answer. I hope you understood why 3 is the answer. Looking forward to hear from some more of you guys out there. Okay, looks like this is one of those questions that has everyone, that's left everyone in a lurch. All of you are traumatized and troubled. Okay. I think I'm going to give you another 30 seconds to brood over your troubles. I'll put the question once more on the screen. Harsh here again seems to have got the correct answer. I will once more put the question for you on the screen before I move on to the next question. Another quick 10 seconds. Anil has got the correct answer. I think I can. Okay, Sumit says yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Great, Sumit. I'll take your word and move ahead. Great. Question, boys and girls. This again is a question. This again is based on seating arrangement. Great, Pramod. Listen to you. Moved ahead. Okay, let's look at this question based on seating arrangement. P, Q, R, S, T, U, and V are traveling in 3 cars. Indica, Esteem, and Indigo, with at least 2 in each car. There are 3 female members amongst them, and 1 person is in each car. T is not traveling in Indica. R is traveling in with Esteem with only his best friend V. Q is not with either P and his U is traveling in Indica. S is not traveling in Indigo. Great. Let's actually see and chart out the relationship. You must remember that there are 7 people in all. There are 3 cars. There are 2 people in each car, and there are 3 people in 1 car. There are 3 females and 4 males. Basic hygiene of the question. Now let's try and do it. We know that there are 3 cars, boys and girls. There is an Indica, there is an Esteem, and there is an Indigo. Now, let's see. T is not traveling in Indica, which means, so now let us say that there are 3 females and there are altogether 7 people, 2 people in each car, and 1 car has 4 people. Now, let us now see who is sitting where. T is not traveling in Indica, which means that T is either in Esteem or in Indigo. Now they tell us that R is traveling in Esteem. R is traveling in Esteem with only his best friend V. Look at a big hint here. R is traveling with his best friend. So we know R is male. We know that V is a female. Also, go back to the first statement. T is not traveling in Indica. Esteem already has a male and a female. It is full because he is traveling only with his best friend, which means that T is traveling in the Indigo. Next, Q is not traveling with P or S. Q is not traveling, which means that P and S are actually traveling together. And his best friend U is traveling in Indica. So we know U is traveling in Indica. Boys and girls, we know that U is traveling in Indica. Read once again. Q is not traveling in with either P or S and his best friend, which again tells us that U is a male. Now we have 4 people. We have placed 4 people. We have 3 more people to place. We know that S is not traveling in Indigo, which means that S is actually traveling in Indica. Now that leaves us with P. That leaves us where to place P. And also, boys and girls, there's one more person whom we need to place. Now, let us read his question once again. 3. T is not traveling in Indica. We've managed to place T. We have managed to place R. We have managed to managed to place U, we have also managed to place S. Now we know P and Q. Let's read. Q is not traveling with P or S. So therefore we know that Q with P or S, boys and girls, is therefore to be traveling in indica, in the indigo, and P will be traveling in indica. P and S are traveling together. Again, a big hint, Q is, therefore we know that Q is male. Now, okay, looks like all of you have got indica is S-U-P, esteem is V and R, and indigo is Q and T. Now that this has been sorted, let's go on to answer the questions that are based on this. Okay, if you look at this. Which of the following cars are three of them traveling? We know that three people are traveling only in one car, which is indica. Therefore, the answer here would be 3 indica without a doubt. Now, let's go to the next one. Which is representing a group of males? We know that in form of males, U is definitely a male, and Q is definitely a male, but that is it. We cannot specify anything beyond that. Therefore, we can easily say that data is inadequate. We are not sure here that whether who is the fourth male. We have not been able to identify all of them. We can easily say here that data is inadequate. Then, which car is Q traveling in? We know from the chart that has been plotted out that Q is traveling in indigo. We know, boys and girls, that Q is traveling in indigo. Yes, Anurag, you've got the correct answer there. Now, I am actually going to be clearing out the screen. Clear. Let's see once again. We know that three of them are traveling in the car indica. We know that we cannot determine from the data that has been given to us that who is male, who is female. We know that Q is traveling in indigo. So here the answer for the 8th question is 3rd option, for the 9th is the 5th option, and for 10th is the 2nd option. Now let's move on to the next set of questions based on the same set of statements that have been given to us. Now let's look at the 11th. Which of the following represents the female members? If you go back and think of the chart that we had plotted, you will see we definitely know that T and V are females. But we do not know who the 3rd female is. So we know that the answer could be 2nd or 3rd, but we do not know whether P or U who is a female. Therefore, once again, the answer here would be data inadequate, because we know that T and V are females, but we don't know that P or Q who is a female. Big question there. Therefore, answer here, like Anurag and Anil have said, data inadequate. In which car is P traveling? We know that P is traveling in the car in which there are 3 people, and P is therefore traveling in indica. Hi Pooja, looks like you've just joined us. Great. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. I would once again about 30 to sort it out in your head to see if you have understood what we have discussed. Yes, the answer to the 12th is definitely 1. I'm wondering if you all have understood, and I can afford to move ahead. Can we move ahead, boys and girls? Looking to get a thumbs up from all of you. Boys and girls, I'm looking to get a thumbs up from all of you to know whether we can actually move on to the next question. Yes, Harsh, the answer is 1. Pooja says yes, ma'am. Harsh also says yes, ma'am. So does Anurag. Great. So I think it is a good time to move on to the next question. Great. So let's move on to the next question, boys and girls. Okay. Now, Let's read the question and then see what the question is based on. Great, Pramod, Anurag, Akanksha, Hema, everybody. Great. Answer the question on the basis of the information given below. 7 varsity basketball players A, B, C, D, E, F, G are to be honored at a special lunch. The players will be seated on the dais in a row. A and G have to leave early, therefore must be seated to the extreme right. B will receive the valuable players trophy, must be in the center. C and D are bitter rivals, therefore must be as far as possible. So let's chart it out. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. They tell us that A and G have to be at the extreme right. So A slash G, A slash G. Either of A or G could be sitting here. Because they have to leave, they have to select extreme right. B, who is receiving the valuable players trophy, has to be seated in the center. Therefore, this is the center, this is where B will sit. They tell us that C and D have to be as far as possible to each other, which means C and D will either be here or be. Hope this diagram is really simple to all of you. I hope all of you have understood this really simple diagram. Let's read once again. 7 people sitting in a straight line. A and G have to be seated to the extreme right. Extreme right would mean these 2 positions. They could be sitting either at either places. B has to be in the middle, which he is sitting. C and D have to have the maximum possible distance between them, which we have put them at. So has everyone understood the seating arrangement before we actually move ahead to the questions based on this? I am hoping that everyone has understood the seating arrangement. Yes or no? Looking forward to hear that from all of you. Looking forward to hear whether all of you have understood the seating arrangement or not, boys and girls. Anurag says he's understood. Let's see if others out there have also understood why we have this arrangement. Pramod says he's understood. Akanksha says she's understood. Krupani says, Sudhir says great. So all of you have understood. Now I am not going to answer the questions. Since the seating arrangement is out there, I am going to look forward to you answering the questions. So boys and girls, after the seating arrangement has been charted out, question number 13, 14, 15 are in front of you. I give you about 30 to 45 seconds to answer these questions. Give you about 30 to 45 seconds to answer these questions. Give it a good shot. Just draw the diagram below so that you can see it. We'll remove it from there so that questions are legible. You do not say that I cannot read the question. Quickly, if the seating arrangement is there in front of you, you should be able to solve this question and what we say in a jiffy. Answer to the 13th question, boys and girls. 13th question. 13th question, Akanksha says that the answer is 3, meaning F. Kripani also says the answer is F. Anil also says the answer is option 3, which is F. And yes, those of you who have answered the question have answered it correctly, that the answer to the 13th question is F. Right, Anil, you've got it too. Let's move on to the 14th question, boys and girls. Let's move on to the 14th question to see that which of the 2 pairs cannot be seated together. There will be distance between them no matter what. So Kripani here says that the answer to question number 14 is option number 4. I'm waiting for someone else also to give a shot to this question. Kripani, let's keep you waiting for some more time while the others out there try and answer the question. Akanksha also says that the answer is option number 4, E and A. E and A, that's what Pooja says, that's what Anurag says, that's what Satya says, and yes, correct. Now, without any more waiting, let's jump on to the 15th question, boys and girls. Let's look at the question. I'm hoping that most of you have also understood the 15th question, boys and girls. The 15th question. Kripani says the answer to the 15th question is 2, E and G. Pooja says 4, C and F. Anil says 2, E and G. Looking for some more people to answer this question. Anurag says 2, E and G. Anil says 2. Satya says 2. Akanksha says 2. Yes, all of you are correct. The answer is E and G. Great. I can see most of you have managed to figure out this question. Great. So I think can I move on to the next question, boys and girls? Yes, Sudhir, the answer is 2, E and G. I'm sure with this kind of understanding, the kind of answers that are pouring in, 14th, yes, is 4, E and A. Pooja, since you're asking, 14th is option 4, E and A. Great. I think we can easily, Anil says, yes, good to go. Are we good to go, boys and girls, to the next question? Great. I can hear Anurag says, Kapil, Krupani, Anil, great. Let's go on to the next question. This question, once again, has to be solved, boys and girls, with Venn diagrams. This question that we are going to be doing now is once again has to be solved by Venn diagrams. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the question. I'm not going to explain the question. I'm going to put the question out there and I'm going to ask you to solve it in next 35 to 45 seconds. Should not take you more than that. And since this is a concept that we have very much discussed in today's class, there's no reason that all of you should not get the correct answer to this question. Great. Let me share the screen and put it out for you. There goes your question, boys and girls. Boxes are green, boxes are yellow, and the conclusion that they have is some yellow boxes are green boxes, all green boxes are red boxes. What is the conclusion? Get started. Your time starts now. The clock is ticking away. It has already started ticking. The clock is ticking. You may or may not hear it ticking away, but it is ticking. Quickly grab hold of a pen or a pencil, draw out the Venn diagram, see which conclusion holds true, which does not, and go ahead and quickly see and mark your answer. Anurag says answer is 1. Yes, only one follows Anurag. Let's hear from a couple of more of your friends what they have to say before I actually spell out and tell you what the answer is. Anil says 3, Kripani says 1, says 3. Anyone else would like to try? Anil says both follows, which is again 3. Okay, I'm going to first the answer and then see if you guys have understood or not. And if you ask me to explain it, I'll explain the question. The answer here, boys and girls, is 1. Only 1 will always be true. Now, how many of you have understood it? Is there anyone out there who hasn't understood why 1 is the answer? I shall go ahead and explain it. Anyone out there who hasn't understood? Because I can see Pooja says 3, Pramod says 3, Anil says both follow. Okay. I think without even you asking me to explain, I will go ahead and draw out the diagram and see why only one can be true is the correct answer. Some red boxes are green. Pramod, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm explaining. Some red boxes are green, which means red, green, some common area. Have you all understood till here that some red boxes are green? Then let's read the second. All red boxes are yellow, meaning that yellow would be the universal set for red. Have you all got the diagram, boys and girls? Yes or no? They say some red boxes are green, which is represented by this part. That some red boxes are green. Then they tell us all red boxes are yellow. That yellow would be the universal set for red boxes. Three. Some yellow boxes are green boxes. Yes, this area represents some yellow boxes are green boxes. It is definitely true. All green boxes are red boxes. Not true at all. Therefore, only one can always be true. Real simple question out there. I hope all of you got it. Yes or no? Akanksha says she's understood. Anurag says he's understood. Anil, have you guys understood, or do you want me to explain this once again to you? Pramod says he's understood. Anil, you specifically said that you did not understand. I'm waiting for you to give your thumbs up. Anil says that he's understood too. Great. Without wasting any more time, I think we can move on to our next question for the day. Now, this is one of the classic questions. Okay, Akanksha says she hasn't understood. Akanksha, do you want me to explain this once again? Okay, I'll quickly explain this once again, Akanksha, because Akanksha there clearly says she hasn't understood. So Akanksha, I will quickly draw out the diagrams. Red boxes are also green boxes. This is the common area that is represented. Then they say all red boxes are yellow boxes. Therefore, yellow is the larger set for R. And then if you see some yellow boxes are green boxes would be represented by this area. True. Then all green boxes not red definitely does not hold true. Therefore, 1 is the answer. Great. Akanksha thumbs up says she has understood. Let's move on to the next question. Great. Okay. Study the following information to answer the questions. This is a classic question of code uncode, of coding and decoding. So we know a certain code 318 means run very fast, 289 means to run away, 97 2C, 43 very good. Now if you see, boys and girls, there are altogether 7 numbers in this combination. There is one. The numbers here in this combination, boys and girls, are 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they are 7, 8, and 9. Let's exactly see which number represents what. Now, if you see 318 and 289, the only common word between them is run, and the only common number between them is 8. Therefore, it means that number 8 stands for 1. Go ahead and analyze 97. 97 means to see, and 289, which means to run away. 97, if you see 97, which means to run away, and 289, which means to run away, you would see the only common number is 9, and the common word here is 2. Therefore, 9 stands for 2. Then, let's look at, once again, 43, which says very good, and 318 that says run very fast, and 43 that says very good. The common number here is 3, and the common word here is very. Therefore, we know that 3 stands for very. Similarly, on doing this, we realize that 1 run. 1 stands for fast, 2 stands for away, 4 stands for good, 7 stands for see. Have you guys, I can see all of you have actually started answering the questions, which is fabulous. So 17th, you all say the answer is 2. That yes, 7 is 2. We can easily read it from our codes. Then let us say see, good, run, away. So the combination should include 7, good is 4, run is 8, and away is 2. It should include 4, 7, 8, 2, which is 18th part 1. And 19th, what is the code for run? Easy given. Something that we found right in the first place stands for 8. Great. Any doubts here, boys and girls? Because all of you seem to have easily aced this. All of you seem to have easily aced this really, really simple exercise on coding and coding. Any doubts there, boys and girls? Yes, 2, 1, 2. Yes, exactly. 2, 1, 2 is the pattern. Akanksha says no doubts, ma'am. Pooja says no doubts. Great, boys and girls. Good to know that your doubts have been solved. Okay, so I think these were some 19 questions that I had put together for you for today's class. I hope that you were able to not only understand these questions, but also learn a couple of tricks and put them up your sleeve so that you know exactly what kind of approach to have to a certain question. Because, boys and important when you're dealing with a section on logical reasoning that the minute you read your question, not only do you identify that what topic is it, but without wasting even a fraction of a second, you realize which is the approach, what is the approach that a certain kind of question requires. So once you ace that, you are sorted. To ace that, you need practice. So you can always log on to our website, get lots of questions, see much more videos that are going to help you to learn some tricks that are really going to help you to solve your questions really fast. So keep watching the live sessions, keep meeting us, keep posting your doubts, keep solving your questions, and keep asking and get your dream jobs really soon. Good luck, guys. Bye-bye. Hope you had fun in today's session. See you once again next week. Bye-bye.